Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be decorating for Easter. I say today. This took me nowhere near the amount of time as like Christmas or Halloween. Took me a couple days to do. I just worked on it at night per usual when I got home from work. It seems to be the only time I have to do my home displays, and that's fine with me. But anyway, so I am sticking with the tinsel that was put up in that light fixture. We've seen it for Christmas, we've seen it for Valentine's Day, and I am gonna leave it up for Easter. This is the first Easter that I have done in a while that I have not like done all the sticks and like the fake turf grass. Like I did not do any of that this year. I kind of went with more of like a white, I don't know how to describe what it is. It's more of like a white wonderland sort of look. It almost kind of gives wintry vibes, but I think it works for the Easter. And then I did leave those pink ornaments I got from Neiman's that I hung up from the chandelier for Valentine's Day around the tree, because I am going to use the tree that I got from Neiman's that I used for Valentine's for Easter as well. But it will not be put in the center of the living room because I have these Mark Robert rotating bunnies. They are like one of my prized possessions out of everything that I own. If you collect Mark Roberts, you know they're a number 1 out of 10 ever made. Like, it's like, I just love them so much. So anyway, it's these bunnies. You'll see them here in a little bit. They're going to be under the light fixture. They're the bunnies. They're pushing a cart, and they are all, like, a lot of people think that I, like, just set them on there. Like, that was actually how Mark Roberts created it. Like, they are tied onto it and glued and everything, so it is, like, one piece. I do set the base of it up on 2 pedestals I got from Hobby Lobby just to raise it up. Those are not Mark Roberts, but the crystal base it's on that rotates it, it's all one piece. I don't know if I described that right, but anyway, I am also going to be using the spinners those are actually from Hobby Lobby, and they are actually supposed to be hung outside like in your tree or something, and the wind will spin them. But I use them inside, and I have I believe they're called disco ball spinners or turners. I got them from Amazon. A lot of people ask where I get them from. So I just hook the rotating spiral things onto the disco ball spinner, and that's how it works. And so I was trying to go back to my roots with the over-the-top sticks and branches and greenery, and I just couldn't get it right. Like, I was like, it's just not working with the white. And I'm not gonna lie, this light fixture is the hardest thing for me to decorate. For any time I try to decorate it, it is probably the hardest thing out of the whole display, just because it's just these big loops that are connected and they move around. I rarely see this chandelier with no decorations in it. Like, just the chandelier. Like, my house, it's always decorated for something, so you rarely see like the actual normalness of the house. But that's okay. I love it. But anyway, yes, so this chandelier, I was just like, should I put like the white glitter sticks that I've used like for Christmas, and then they were in the tree for Valentine's. I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I also had a couple of Mark Roberts. I have a Mark Roberts, couple elves I put up in the light, and I think they just sort of filled it in a little bit better, and I ended up just leaving them up there on their own. Just because I felt like they looked cute. They sort of they popped out against the white tinsel, and it just wasn't too overwhelming. Because honestly, you guys, Christmas, once I get through Halloween, Christmas, I put Halloween up in August. So August through end of January, my house is completely non-usable. Not even gonna lie. Like my table I can't eat at because there's, if you've seen the Christmas video, I highly recommend, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you go and watch it because it's cool to see. I mean, I love Christmas, so. But with that being said, I decided to that's why I did Valentine's over in the living room, because typically I've done it at my table area, and that's fine, except for I can't use my table to sit and eat at. So I was like, you know what? Valentine's, you're going in the center of the living room. At least I can sit at my table and still maneuver around everything. And I am not complaining that my house is non-usable for those couple of months. I love it, but it is nice to actually sit on my couch and sit at my table for once. So anyway, that's why Easter this year is a bit more simplified compared to past years, just due to the fact that I would like to sit at my table and eat. But anyway, so this is the tree. I'm sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained here. The tree, I did leave the pink ornaments in it because I still feel like that's sort of Easter vibes. I left the pink ornaments hanging down around the chandelier, like I said, and you can sort of see the bunnies there a little bit better that are going to be spinning in the center of the living room. So this is the tree I got on sale after Christmas at Neiman's this year. So I will probably use it for everything besides Christmas. And it did not come on the rotating base. I put it, and I didn't have it spinning for Valentine's Day. I was like, it would be cool to have it spinning for Easter though. So I ended up I have a Mark Roberts cat, and she's wearing this long green dress. I put her on the top of the tree. I would be like, that was the perfect place for her. She looks good up there. I feel like my Easter sort of gives Alice in Wonderland or something along those lines. I don't really do major Happy Easter signs, and I don't know. It could honestly go through all spring. I could leave the Easter up. And I probably will leave it up a little bit later this year just because Easter this year is in March. So I'll probably leave it up till mid-April or maybe longer. But anyway, I put those big balls in the tree are Mark Roberts. The pastel-looking balls are Mark Roberts. I got those when I was in Dallas at the showroom. I've used them in a couple of different places in the past few years for Easter. So now I'm working on the stairs. I left the gold garland on the stairs from Christmas. I just left it up there through Valentine's Day. I just didn't put anything in it. And I think it looked okay, but because I knew I had a plan for it for Easter, so I just didn't want to take it down and put it back up. I was like, you know what, just going to leave it. So I have all these grass bunnies that are so cute, so I ended up just tying them in the same way I've done the pumpkins for Halloween, the villages for Christmas. I put one nail on one side of the railing, put a piece of floral wire around the nail, ran it across the top of the item, and put another nail on the other side, and then just wrapped the wire around that nail, and just pulled it tight, obviously, so that's what holds them in place. And that's what I do with all the larger items you see in the garland. I'm sorry the tree might be distracting. It looks like it's spinning at 100 miles an hour. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, I was debating on not using the gold garland and using the green, but I sort of like how the gold turned out, honestly. Oh, and then I put a giant grass bunny up on that shelf, kind of up by the top of the tree there, just to sort of tie in with all the other grass bunnies. So going back to what I said about keeping everything in the living room so I could sit and eat at my table. Now this is a Christmas Mark Roberts base that I have made a cover for. to cover the red so I can use it for other holidays. Now these bunnies were individual. They were not put on this base or anything like that. I just set them on there. But they are on the kitchen table, and I was like, you know what? I don't really want them on my kitchen table. I really want most of the Easter stuff to be in the living room. So I tried them on this little end table in the living room, and I like to have one of those trees on that table just to kind of, it gives light and some height there. But the problem was when the bunnies were spinning, they were grabbing the tree and pulling it down, like the table wasn't big enough for me to separate them enough. And I wanted to try to include the Mark Roberts deer, that huge deer that I got for Christmas. And I put it next to the tree, but I was like, what if I put the rotating bunnies next to the tree? And that'll get them off the table from the other side, and I can put the tree there with something else. So this is another, I'm obsessed with Santas, so anytime I can find a Santa for another holiday, just sign me up. So I have a couple of these Santa bunny things. I think they're called Father Easters. I love them. I'm obsessed. So anyway, put him on the end table next to one of my chairs. I liked him there just because he's sort of on a bigger base. And he's almost like a little display piece on his own. So he's there. And then I have another one that I put on top of my Mackenzie-Childs end table under my TV. And then I was almost done, and then I noticed I had all these butterflies. Usually I run these across the ceiling in my kitchen previously. But again, I'm not really wanting to do too much in the kitchen. I did do a couple of things in the kitchen. I don't think I've recorded myself putting them in there, but you'll see in the final look. But anyway, I just sort of ran them up the wall and down. I am surprised. These stickies have lasted. I want to say this is the third year using these same little stickies. Now, a couple of them have fallen, but when they do fall, I just replace the little sticky. But for the most part, they are doing pretty good and staying up. So anyway, like I said before, I wanted to use the Mark Roberts deer. I got him at Neiman Marcus this year. He's actually for Christmas, or I guess you could use him. I use him for anything I can. So I took his head off because I was like, what can I do to make him look more spring? So I had this twig wreath that I usually put on my front door. And I was like, how cute would that be around his neck? But it didn't fit. So I had to cut the wreath, and then I just wrapped it around his neck. But anyway, I just think it looks so cute. I put a little butterfly on his nose. It definitely gives Alice in Wonderland to me. His head moving looks so crazy sped up, but anyway. Oh, and then I wanted to include this part because, this will put you in a trance. Watching all these things spin. Oh my goodness. But anyway, I was just sort of cleaning up, getting some vacuuming done. I don't think people realize that this produces such a mess every time I decorate. Is it just me? Let me know in the comments.